We would like to thank our Classy Climb Tour and channel sponsor, GTT Commercial Tires, out of Richmond, Virginia, the leading semi-truck care center.
I love Ben Shapiro and I love Thomas Sowell, and I'm very conservative on issues, and I do look at numbers just from a numbers sake, right? A lot of my stats I bring up are from blackdemographics.com, CDC numbers, do a lot of research on lots of articles before I get on these talks. But let's just break down one part of America that when people say, oh, the post-racial society after Obama, you guys can do whatever. See all these rich black people? Yeah. So Dr. Kimball wrote a book, and I don't know, I'm still kind of researching the numbers at this point. The book at the time said like 30,000 black millionaires. Right now, of course, these numbers may be 60,000 now at this point. They may be more. I don't know. But I'm going to work from what we know. And again, that's Dr. Kimball's book, Black Wealth Choice. You can look it up. Peter put it here. There's 30 million millionaires in America. If everything was post-racial and good as gold, we would honestly have 13% of those people, because of our population, black population, be millionaires. That means we would have 3.9 million black people that were millionaires. So when you say 30,000 black people are millionaires, that's atrocious on levels of atrociousness that is insane. Now, when you really dive into the numbers of the black millionaires, I know, some folks on the internet, I'm not going to say their name because I don't want that beef. I don't want that smoke. Or like, oh, that's just black people with pensions and homes. That's not true. They've researched these numbers. A lot of these numbers are business owners. And when you really dig in it, it says, why are black people struggling to match in these millionaire spots? And it's really because black people invest in two things, businesses and one major real estate, right? And so what do I mean? It means, and I'm being careful here, they'll meet a rich black person and they'll try to sell them packages and stocks and all this other stuff. I've even been sold by a lot of I'm trying to be careful. Many investment firms have been like, hey, you can come and invest this money with me and blah, 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 right? And I've always been like, no, I just need to hold my cash because I got to be able to grow my business and I got to hold this cash so I can buy this house, my personal residence. And even at a bigger level, when you meet way bigger black business owners, that's the same thing they're doing. They only buy real estate. So they got something for their mama, they got some stuff for themselves, or they put all their business in cash. Tim Ferriss, who wrote the 4-Hour Workweek, he was in an interview and the guy was talking to him and he's like, well, why don't you invest in this? And he was like, nah, man, I'm scared. I just keep all my cash and I just grow my business. So even there's plenty of white people that's the method of they go towards. Also, you have to take in the fact that many times black people in the 1960s, 1970s, the 1890s, the 1920s, we've put our money in different branches of places and events and been swindled, right? Or been damaged or not been replaced or not being made whole, right? This happens often and people are frustrated. Or we buy a bad, cheap insurance policy.
We would like to thank our Classy Climb Tour and channel sponsor, the Van Hill Group, LLC, out of the DMV area. If you are looking to invest in multifamily properties in D.C., Virginia, North Carolina, and Ohio regions, reach out for free to our team at Malik@vanhillgroup.com.
And someone dies and we really don't get the $1 million benefit. We get a couple $100,000, right? I remember talking to a few people and listening to how they spent money. They could have bought 10 houses over by now, right? But they always had to fly his car, right? They always had to fly his car. There's been several business owners from Instagram that have died, and even they're having to run GoFundMes. And so my biggest thing I want you to understand about, I love numbers and I'm a big fan of a lot of the conservative talking points, but if we really truly had an America that doesn't have the banking issues, doesn't have the loan issues, that doesn't have a lot of the other issues, right? We would see $3.9 million, 3.9 million black millionaires. Now, my biggest goal in this channel and what I talk about and what I do here is I want to encourage all these people to buy some land and buy a home. And there's such a resistance to those two basic fundamental things because a lot of times people aren't married. So they go, well, let me just save money and conserve money and I'll just live like a miser and live in this little cheap apartment. And 10 years goes by and they don't have anything to show for it. They just don't have anything to show for it. And we just saw with this past 2 years, especially if you're in Austin, if you're in Texas, Honey, if you're in Nashville, if you're in Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, that if you didn't own a home this past 2 years, you did not get any of these benefits. What you got was some rent increase. What you got is more expensive gas. While your neighbors were house hacking, while your neighbors are renting out rooms, while people have been buying more than one rentals, they've been living well. This is the same argument I have for people when I meet people in, Detroit areas. Why don't you own here? Oh, it's rough, but you still live in a rough area. Okay? So again, some of the barrier to being a millionaire in America is on us, and some of it is banking, loans, cultural, job, right? It is people kind of sticking a stick in the mud and spinning it in a circle, okay? Because the numbers would be a lot better, because 3.9 million versus 30,000, that's atrocious. And literally, you could curve half of that if a bunch of us, and when I mean a bunch, I mean 1 million of us bought homes that were of good value, or we purchased multiple homes, because then we'd still be in that top category. Because if you don't realize this, but if you buy 3 homes, you're in the top 1% in America. Lots of people have a second home or vacation rental, what we call them, but there's a very small percentage that have a third home. So this is your girl Erica, Classy Climb blog, doing this video just to kind of break that down. 30 million is not 30 million millionaires in the United States versus 30,000. Yeah, that's really not good. Those are really awful numbers, and show where there is inequality in our loan and banking systems. And there's some other factors, but that's the big part of it. So this is your girl Erica.
Welcome to the Classy Climb YouTube channel. Here's your host with the most, Erica Williams. Hit the like button and prepare your mind to win. Drop some money in that internet change jar while you're at it.